Welcome to the 5th battle of the Taros Air War campaign. For those who don't know, this is a solo campaign. I just needed something to do. Hopefully you'll enjoy the battle and have some feedback for me. This battle is the first time I'm using the rolling area of engagement rules from the Taros campaign book. I'll be rolling to decide some of the other rules we'll use in this mission as well. As this recording is more than just a battle report, I'll be breaking down the times in the description below so you can skip the parts you don't want to listen to or look at. So sit back, relax, and let me know what you think. The chase mission is sort of a take on the Star Wars trench run, but not really. For one thing, the trench is 12 hexes wide, more than enough room for dodging side to side. For another thing, there is no thermal exhaust port or other target to shoot torpedoes at when you reach the end of the map. In fact, the only thing is that both fighters will set up on the same edge, presumably going the same direction, though the rules don't state that. The mission is intended for forces 25 to 250 points in size. I'm going to roll for sizes 75 points, 100 points, and 150 points. Mission is recommended for all aircraft types, though once again there are rules for deployment of ground defenses, just in case you have some extra points lying around. But if the ground defenses roll off the end of the map, they are gone and count as destroyed. They cannot come back as reinforcements like aircraft can potentially. For deployment, players roll off. The winner of the roll-off chooses who deploys first, deploying one aircraft within 3 hexes of the map's trailing edge. The opponent then deploys one of their aircraft on the same edge. All other aircraft are in reserves. So, special rules for the chase. You have rolling area of engagement, which is basically players are trying to move from the trailing map sheet to the leading map sheet. Long sides are considered impassable. Any aircraft that go off the long edges are considered to have hit a cliff and been destroyed. As players reach the last hex of the top map, the game pauses, all planes and terrain and ground defenses on the trailing edge are removed. Then the trailing map section is removed, and then a new map section gets placed on top and becomes the new leading edge. You take and deploy new terrain randomly, and then continue the move and the rest of the game. Aircraft lost on the trailing section roll a handling check. If the aircraft pass their handling check, they go back into reserves. If the aircraft fail a handling check, they will count as accidental disengagement and count as being destroyed. So the other key point to this mission is the reinforcements. So start a turn after turn 2. You roll to see for each aircraft whether it comes onto the table or not. On turn 2, roll a 4+, lets them come on. Turns 3 to 5, you roll 3+. Turns 6 and beyond, it's 2+. Reinforcements come on the trailing edge of the map at maximum speed at any altitude they want. You then continue with the choose maneuver phase of the start of the turn and continue playing from there. Night fighting and bad weather rules are optional and will be based on random chance this time. I'll roll first to see if we use them or not. 4+, we will have bad weather. If I roll right, we'll have good weather and no effect. Another optional rule will be fighting at low altitude. Again, as an optional rule, we'll roll for it. 4+, we will have low altitude. Also, there will be obstructions tall enough to block line of sight and prevent planes from flying over obstructions, so if you're not careful, you can fly into terrain and crash. Also, on a collision with other aircraft, both aircraft suffer damage and roll for random direction facing. Other rules we will be using: enhanced damage from the companion book. It should make it harder to shoot down each other and introduce more interesting effects than just plain structure damage. Limited ammo. This may help limit the game, as all weapons will have a limited number of volleys that can be shot per game. And underdog rule: if forces are 5 points or more apart, then the smaller unit gets the initiative turn 1. And by the way, this rule is not considered an optional rule. Game length is normal, 12 turns or until one player is left standing in the area of engagement. Victory conditions are standard victory points from the rule book, no special mission points for this one. So I'm doing some prep work regarding the chase campaign mission. Unfortunately, this is the one that has the rolling terrain rule. And as you can see, I can barely fit 3 maps onto my camera lens, and this is shooting from a distance still. And to make the equivalent of 3 12x12s, I need to use 4 of these maps. So due to the space restrictions I have here, I'm only going to be able to do 3 panels at a time. Meanwhile, to take and actually do the campaign maps, all I did is I took one of the standard maps and folded under one of the panels. So it's easy enough to make the 12 hex wide. 12 hex wide, this way will give you an incomplete hex row on either side. So if you want to do the full 12 by 12 3 panel equivalent, that's the equivalent of 4 of these panels end to end. And I have to warn you, the total distance is just under 74 inches, so it's over 6 feet. You need a fairly large table in order to deal with the situation. Meanwhile, I'm going to take and roll for a number of things. First of all, we're going to roll for the mission size. So 1 and 2 will be 75 points, 3, 4 will be 100, 5, 6 will be 150. And we rolled for 150. Next thing we're going to roll for is whether or not we're going to have the night fight rule. 4 plus will use it. Anything below that, we will ignore the night fight. So no night fight this time. The only other optional rule I'm rolling for this time is whether or not to use low altitude. And again, that'll be on a 4 plus. We're going to have low altitude rules. So maximum altitude is going to be altitude band 2. So with no night fight or bad weather, the regular lightnings are back again with their las cannons. Surprisingly, the lightning strikes with missiles when paired with a regular lightning makes a 50-point block. So I'm taking both lightnings and both lightning strikes with missiles to give us a solid 100 points. Final choices will be the Avengers, just for some variety, taking one with an autocannon and one with las cannons as extra weapons. That gives us a force of 150 points with 12 structure points and a nice variety of airplanes and weapons. All weapons have a loadout of 6 volleys except for the Sky Strike missiles carried by the lightning strikes. As with the Imperials, lack of night fighting really opened up my options for the Tau. First, I decided I wanted to match Imperials with numbers. I played around with the list and I couldn't find a list that could match the numbers without including remoras. The issue is all the Tau aircraft except for the drones are over 25 points. So, after deciding I'm taking remoras, the next decision was I'm going to take all 3 Barracudas with railguns. It's the cheapest fighter option. It allowed me to have the numbers add on to remoras. I have 5 aircraft and 35 points left over to choose my final aircraft. It was the final decision that took a bit. I basically had a choice between Barracuda with burst cannons, Tiger Shark with railguns, or Tiger Shark with ion cannons. I was originally going to take the Tiger Shark with ion cannons, but then I realized I didn't have any experience on any of the Tiger Sharks with railguns. So I looked at taking one of those. Then, looking at the list, if I took the Tiger Shark with railguns, I was going to be totally dependent on railguns, which could also be an issue. finally I realized this is a chase. Enemy fighters are all faster than the tiger sharks. There is a very real possibility that the tiger sharks won't be able to keep up. So I finally decided on the Barracuda with burst cannons. If I had the Barracuda with an ion cannon in my squadron, I would have preferred that, but I didn't include one in the original squadron creation. So 4 Barracudas, 3 with railguns, 1 with burst cannons, and 2 Remoras. My only real concern is the Tau now have less structure points than the Imperials, as Remoras have 1 structure point each. So Tau have 10 structure points total to the Imperials 12. However, this is a low-level mission, and there is a higher likelihood of entering into spins in this and crashing. Extra structure makes no difference when going Mach 2 across a gravel road without landing gear. So with the higher handling rating, the Barracuda just had that much more of a chance of recovering from a spin without crashing. Regarding the weapons and limited ammo, I was worried about the Barracuda with the burst cannons, but I double checked, and at medium range with both the burst cannon and the weapon drones with burst cannons, you only get a total of 9 shots. So that's less than required to drop the number of volleys from 6 down to 5. If they had been 10 shots total, the burst cannons would have been limited to 5 volleys. So everything has 6 ammo except for the Seekers carried by the Remoras. There's only 2 of those on each of the Remoras. So as you can see, I've got my ammo sheet all set up. We've got the forces identified, and we're ready to go. It's time to play the game. So here's our playing surface for the chase. We're supposed to put D6 pieces of terrain on each map section. I've got 1 dice each for Tau and Imperial. And basically the high dice is the number of pieces we're supposed to put down. So for the first one, we're actually putting down 6 pieces of terrain. I hope I have enough terrain before we run out. So let's put down 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6 pieces of terrain. I'll put something there. This one's just big enough, it's going to cover 4 pieces of hexes. We'll put something over here. This is long enough, it'll cover 3 hexes. And we'll put a single hex here. And maybe another 3 hexes there, and that's just 2 hexes right there, just to make it interesting. For the next, another 6 pieces. I think I'm going to run out of terrain here. 2, 3, 4, 5, and take a little piece here. So again, that'll be a little 2-piecer. Let's put 4 pieces. This one's going to be, because of how big it is, it's going to cover this whole block of 7. And I'll put another piece up here. We'll put another tower down here. Just a single. We'll put another single over here, I think. And we'll put another block of 4 here. So that'll block 3 hexes. That'll block 3. This will block 7 because of how it's positioned. Finally, let's roll for the last one. I hope it's not a 6. Finally, 3. So, I've got a couple really big pieces left, but I don't want to get too carried away. So let's do another one here. I'll cover 3. Nice big solid building here. This one's going to cover quite a bit. And then we'll just put a final block there. And that'll be our deployment for the first turn. Or sorry, that'll be the terrain deployment for the first turn. So we're going to start off, we'll roll to see who deploys first. And the Tau is high, they're going to make the Imperials deploy first. So remember, this is our trailing edge here. That's our leading edge over on the other side. And both choose one aircraft to deploy within 3 hexes. So I'll set up the final deployment and then we'll take and start the game. So the aircraft are deployed. We deployed the Lightning here first. He chose to deploy on the last hex of the trailing edge, or the last full hex, simply to prevent the Tau from deploying behind him. And the Tau deployed over here, basically because there's a straight channel here, and depending what happens, he may be able to get some shots through the gaps. So, rolling to see who has initiative for turn 1. Tied. Roll again. And Tau rolled high, so we're going to make Imperials activate first. And first activation is going to be a level flight. He's presently traveling, speed 5, level 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to bump him up to 8, which is his max speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to turn. 6, 7, 8. And hopefully that'll keep him out of line of sight of the Barracuda. But we all know how that's going to probably play out, right? So right now, these 4 hexes are blocking terrain. So, yeah, I don't see any way the Barracuda is going to get a chance at him. The Barracuda also chose level flight. He's traveling speed 5. And I think 1, 2, 3, turn 4, 5. I think I'll probably keep him at that speed. 1, 2, 3, turn 4, 5. So he's not traveling as fast as the Lightning right now, but he's also blocking terrain between the two of them. And I can very quickly go into the shooting phase. Nobody has line of sight. The Tau Barracuda actually had the best chance, but we have blocking terrain that's blocking line of sight. Going into the end phase, there's no tailing, nobody stalling, and that'll end turn 1. So it's the beginning of turn 2, we need to roll for the reinforcements. Start with the Tau. On turn 2, reinforcements come in on a 4+, and we'll just go straight down the line. So first roll, he's in. Second roll, he's in. Third roll, he's not. Fourth roll, whoops, way off the board. Fourth roll, he's not. And finally, the last drone, he's in. And I'll do the same thing for the Imperials. First one, he's not. Second one, he is. Third, he is. Fourth, he's not. And fifth, he's not. So for reinforcements, we have these 3 Tau and these 2 Imperials. We'll just set up the deployment and start up again once the orders are given. So, aircraft are deployed all within 3 hexes. Actually, they're all deployed 1 hex in. All the aircraft are traveling at their max speed, which is 6, 7s for these 2, and 8s for these 2. The maneuvers have been placed. Let's see who gets initiative. Tau have the initiative, and they're going to make Imperials move first. So to start with, I think the safest one to move is going to be this first guy. He's actually doing a stoop. So he's presently traveling speed 8. I'm going to leave him at speed 8. So he's going to turn 1 onto the next map, 2, 3, 4. He has to turn 5. And he's going to turn 2 hex sides, 6, 7, 8. He's now, hopefully, behind the cover of this hex, so no one's going to have a straight-on shot on him, he hopes. First Imperial activation, I'm going to move the drone. And the drone is doing a level flight. He's going speed 6. I'm going to drop him down to speed 4. 1, 2, turn, 3, 4, and that's where he's going to stay. Next Imperial activation. Trying to remember what I gave these guys for orders. I think we'll move this one first. He chose level flight. He's going speed 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think I want to go that far. He can reduce his speed by 3. We're just going to drop him to 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe I'll just do the same thing I did before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 6, 7, 8. And that'll be his move. We'll move the first Tau fighter. He's doing a stoop. So he's going to turn, he's presently doing speed 5, altitude 2. I think I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drop him down to speed 4. Actually, speed 4. So he's going to turn once. 1, 2, 3. He's going to turn 2 hex sides. 4. And he's in tailing position now of this particular lightning strike. And that leaves us with this last Imperial flyer. He's got a stoop as well. He's going 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to drop down to speed 5 from 8. 1, 2, 3, turn 4, 5. He's now in tailing position of Barracuda 1. That leaves us with these 2. Not sure which one's going to make a difference. He's doing level flight 7. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. 7, 6, 5, 4. 1, 2, 3. He turns now. He's got an angle on shot now to that one. And we have another stoop here. Again, we're going to drop down to minimum speed, 654. He's going to turn, 1, 2, 3. Turn once, 4. And he turns back his 2 hex faces. And he's going to split the hex, so he'll have a shot as well. And that'll be it for the movement phase for turn 2. So we have a little bit of a furball developed here. As you can see, we got 2 Barracudas with line of sight onto the trailing lightning strike. On the other hand, this Barracuda's got a shot at this lightning. Unfortunately, Imperials move first, Imperials get to shoot first. So in an effort to save his buddy, we're going to have this guy shoot first. He's a lightning strike, and he's got 4 shots at short range. Needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Let's see what we get. We got 1 hit. Can we roll to damage? No, we do not. He does have a couple of missiles. Unfortunately, they can't be fired at short range, so that'll take care of his shooting for the first turn. So, seeing as he can't shoot anymore, I'm going to start off with this Barracuda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's at medium range, which is ideal for him. He's going to have 2 shots with the railgun. Let's see what we get. And that was a 1, but he did hit. He damages on a 2+, and he got a 6. So we managed to hit him. With a damage roll of 6, he actually does extra damage. So 2 damage rolls on the damage table. Grab this before I forget. So we rolled a 1 and a 4. 1 is you're struck with such force, you're moved to a random direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to go 2. We'll just twist him now. And I forgot what I rolled for the second one. I think it was a 4. Hang on while I check the camera. So I finished checking the tape, and sure enough, the second damage was a 4. That's our dreaded spin with damage points. So here's our spin counter, and here's our damage counter. So he's in a spin immediately. It's always -1 to hit now. So continuing with the Barracuda, at medium range he gets 3 shots with rockets or missiles. Normally 5s, it'll be 6s because the target's in a spin. No hits with the missiles. I don't have a target to this guy, so we'll fire the burst cannons again, another 3 shots, needing 6s. That'll be a cocked dice. And he'll fail to hit with the burst cannon. So that'll be it for Barracuda number 2. Successful in damaging lightning strike number 4. So next up, there are no Imperial aircraft with anyone in their target zone, so we'll continue with Barracuda number 3. Unfortunately, he doesn't have angle to hit this lightning behind the building, so he's going to take another shot at our tumbling lightning strike here. So he's at short range. He's only going to get 1 shot, I believe. Yeah, 1 shot with the missile pod, needing a 6 to hit. Failed to hit. And I don't think he gets any shots with the burst cannon. No, he does not. So that'll be it for Barracuda number 3. So we're into the last possible shooting on turn 2. This Barracuda has a tailing shot at the lightning strike in front of him. Unfortunately, he's at short range. The only weapon that can fire at short range on a Barracuda with a railgun and burst cannons is the missile pod. So he gets a single shot, needing 5 to hit, 4 to damage. Wrong dice, but he missed anyway. And that'll take care of the Barracuda, and that will be the last of the shooting for turn 2. So end phase of turn 2, we're supposed to check for stalls. There are none. Check for tailing. This Barracuda is tailing this lightning strike. Good news for lightning strike is the only weapon he has in range is going to be the missile launcher. So that's going to be it. We don't resolve this spin because it just happened this turn. So he's going to continue in a spin until the end of next turn. Meanwhile, let's roll to see who's coming back onto the table. So, same as before. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Rolling for the first aircraft. He rolls a 1. He's not coming on yet. Oh, for this we needed a 3+. Neither of the Tau aircraft are coming on this turn. For the Lightning, he's not coming on either. We did get one of the Avengers. And there's the other Avenger. So both the Avengers are coming on. None of the Tau aircraft. That'll take us into the order phase of turn 3. Okay, so we've got the aircraft deployed over here. The 2 Avengers are traveling at altitude 2 at their max speed of 6. Everyone has their orders down except for him. He's in a spin, he can't do anything. Let's roll, see who gets initiative for turn 3. And Imperials get the initiative for turn 3, and they're going to make the Tau move first, which makes perfect sense. So, who should I move first? I think I'm just going to start with our drone here, and he's going to do a stoop. So he's traveling speed 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to bump him up to speed 6, which is his max. So turn 1, turn again, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to turn him this way, 5, 6. Probably not the smartest thing I could have done with him, but we'll see what happens later. I'm thinking I can sneak up this side and maybe catch somebody on that way. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, for the first Imperial activation, I may as well tell the strategy now. Seeing as everyone's milling around down here, he's going to do a stoop, or sorry, swoop. He's at speed 8, he's going to stay at speed 8. His plan now is, let's see how far I can get up here. If I can get up here and force this table to disappear and shift things down, we may catch some of the Tau back there. So, speed 8. He's doing maneuver 2, turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to turn here 7, 8. And he's not far from the table edge now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He can force it next turn. With that in mind, I think everyone over here needs to move more quickly. Next Tau activation is going to be this Barracuda. Oops, I forgot. He was supposed to get a tailing shot here. We'll just do it real quick. One shot with missile. He hit with a 5. Does he damage? He damages. What does he roll on the damage table? He rolled a 3. And 3 is serious hit. Place a flame token on the aircraft. Disadvantage with that is he can't shoot anymore. So I'll just use this dice to represent my flame for now. And I'll replace it with a red one later. And that's it. The aircraft can try to get rid of the flame in the end phase. That takes care of his tailing shooting. Anyway, back to the Tau activation. Let's start with this guy. He's doing a turn. He's at speed 4. I'm going to increase his speed 5, 6, 7. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to turn him 2 hex sides this way. Sort of regretting this maneuver now, but at least he's safe on to the second map. Next Imperial activation. I'm going to move this guy. He's on fire. He can't shoot this turn. It doesn't matter. He was doing a swoop. He's presently at speed 8 and he's going to stay at speed 8. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And he's well on his way up the map. Next Imperial activation. Oh, I don't like this at all. Let's move this guy. He's doing a stoop. So at speed 4, he's going to increase to his max speed of 7. So he's going to turn 1, 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, he's just a little shy there. I'm going to turn him to face this way. I'm thinking that because if I turn him the other way, he's going to end up having to go straight because of the building in the way. So we'll leave him like that for now. And next Imperial activation. It's going to be one of these guys. He's going max speed, level flight. So 6 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's actually promising for the Tau, because hopefully that means the Imperial won't sacrifice his other 2 flyers and fly off the board before they have a chance to get off the board. Next up, we have another stoop. He's doing speed 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to bump him up to 7 as well. So 5, 6, 7. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3. Do I want to go 4? Yeah, go 4, turn 5, 6, 7. And I can actually turn this way. And that will give him a tail shot at our flaming lightning again. So he's in a spin, he can't move. That just leaves our friend here. He's already at max speed, he's doing level flight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna go straight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. short range to this particular Barracuda, but he didn't have a whole lot of choices. So just double checking. He's in a spin. Moved. Oops. These two have moved, and those two have moved. We're done with movement for turn 3. So this activation, the Tau move first, they get to shoot first. I was trying to decide what to do, and I realized that this Avenger is in the tailing arc of this Barracuda, who is in the tailing arc of this Lightning Strike. Now, there's a good chance the Avenger can shoot down the Barracuda, so I'm going to shoot the Barracuda first. So, firing the Barracuda at the Lightning Strike. I'm going to take 2 shots with the railgun, needing 5s to hit as we're both at the same altitude. Railgun does not hit. 3 shots with the missile launcher or missile pod. No hits with the missile pod. Oops. I'm wondering now if I should use the burst cannon on this guy. What the heck, I may as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. They're at the same altitude, so 5s to hit, 5s to damage. 2 hits. Can we damage? No, we cannot, and that'll take care of Barracuda number 1. So, first Imperial activation, we're going to have this Avenger shoot next at the Barracuda number 1. Normally I wouldn't be so worried about him, but Barracuda 2 here actually has the Avenger in his line of sight. So, again, use him or lose him. Avenger Strike has got 5 shots with Avenger Bolt Cannon, needing 5s and 4s. And extra damage on a 6. So, 1 hit with the Avenger, needing a 4+, 6 does extra damage, 2 damage points. He has no extra armor, so let's roll on the damage table. And I think he's gone. Let's see, serious hit causes the aircraft to billow flames, so no extra damage there, so 1 flame. He can no longer fire, but the 6, it causes fuel line rupture, so that makes him 2 fuel, or 2 flames, plus he takes a damage point. So 1 more damage point, and that particular Barracuda is gone. And we could still do that in the damage phase, depending on how I roll for those fires. And I forgot, he's got twin las cannons as well. So that's another 4 shots with the las cannon. Yeah, medium range, 4 shots, needing 5s to hit, 2s to damage. That does not look good for the Barracuda. 2 damages, 6 extra damage, and it does a 3, which is 1 damage point. 4. He loses a single structure point, immediately goes into spin. However, he's already damaged. He will explode in midair and die. Back to the Tau. We're going to have Barracuda number 2 shoot at the Avenger, which just finished shooting at him. Actually, he's already done his damage. There's a long shot, but it's possible the Avenger might hit and damage that other Barracuda, so I'm going to go after the one that hasn't fired yet. So, 2 shots with railguns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's at medium range. Needing 5s to hit, 2 to damage, and 6s to extra damage. We'll hit once. He rolled a 6 way out here on the side. 2+ to damage. And he will damage. Let's see what he rolls for the damage table. 3. He hits the fuel line rupture and he catches fire. So, good news is he can't shoot anymore this turn. And again, it could be removed in the end phase. So Tau firing his missile pods. He's got 3 shots at medium range, 5s and 4s. No hits with the missile pod. I could shoot down. I'm tempted to shoot at another vehicle, but I'm going to go for this Avenger first. 3 shots with the burst cannon. He'll hit once, needing a 5 to damage. He will fail to damage, and that will take care of the shooting there. So here we are at the end of the shooting phase, basically. He hasn't fired, but he's in a spin. He can't do anything. This one's on fire. He can't do anything. This one's on fire. He has no target in his front arc either. And the last one has nothing in his front arc. And for the top side, the remote's facing the wrong way. Probably a bad decision on my part earlier. And this Barracuda is too close to everyone to shoot. So that's going to end the shooting phase. We're going to go to the end phase now. So we're in the end phase. Need to roll a handling check for our aircraft in spin. His handling is a 3+. Can he make it? And he failed. He rolled a 1. So he now descends 1 altitude from 2 to 1. And he's basically written out of the game, because even if he does recover next turn, he's going to crash, because he has to drop 1 more altitude in each recovery phase. For our Avenger that's on fire, he has to pass a handling test in order to put the fire out and just have smoke. Avenger's lucky. His handling is a 2, so 2+, and he passes. And he passes. So instead of flames, he drops down to smoke. Now, what I have to remember is while he's smoking, it's -1 for him to hit. For our last end phase check, we need to see whether or not this lightning strike can put out his flames. And again, his handling is 3+. Can he do it? He did with a 5. So again, flames go out, replaced with smoke. And he'll be -1 to hit anything that he shoots at until the smoke is gone. And that's it for the end phase of turn 3. So it's now end of turn 3, beginning of turn 4. First thing we do is roll for reinforcements. And at this point, we're looking at a 2+ to come onto the table. So first aircraft. Finally, he's coming on. Second aircraft. He's coming on, barely. And last aircraft. Believe it or not, he's not coming on yet. So we'll deploy the aircraft and then begin to give out the orders. So here we go, beginning turn 4, orders are out. We've got our reinforcements out. Time to roll, see who has the initiative. Tie draw. One more time. Tau have the high number. And because of the situation here, this guy here can get off the table if he wants this turn. Tau are going to move first because they want to try to make sure they get these 2 aircraft off before he goes off the table and forces this whole section to disappear. So let's start with activating this drone. And he's decided he's going to do a bank. So he's presently traveling speed 6. I think I'm going to turn him down to speed 4. So he's going to turn once, 1, 2, turn again, 3, 4, and I think I'm going to leave him at this angle because these guys are going to have to funnel up here. This way he might actually get a shot off. So that'll be the drone. First Imperial activation. Let's take this guy, get him out of the way. He's doing a stoop and he's traveling at speed 6. Let's do 2. And he's gonna stay at this speed, I think. Turn 1 again. Sorry, turn 1, 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6. And why not? He'll turn twice this way. That way he can go head to head with the drone. Oops, shouldn't have moved him. Next activation, we're going to have this Tau Barracuda go. And he's going to do a stall turn. So he's presently traveling. Let's see. Speed 7. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna drop him 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm gonna drop him till speed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And instead of going directly back the way he was, he'll turn this way. As you can see, it's getting very crowded this part of the table. Next Imperial activation. He's going to do a stoop. He's traveling speed 6. I'm going to leave him at 6. So he's going to turn once. 1, turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I turn him, will I have to turn him at least once? I think I'll leave him like that. It doesn't leave him a good angle over here, but he'll be able to go this way if he wants to next turn. He's trailing smoke, so I'll move that over as well. And that just leaves us with these two Tau. The Barracuda, he's going straight ahead, speed 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And oh, I did that wrong, sorry. Said this guy's going to take up the entire thing here. So he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn 5, 6, 7. Otherwise he'd run into the building. Now next Imperial activation. Because this is a slightly shorter map, I'm about 9 hexes short, he can get off the table and force that to drop off. There's really no reason why he shouldn't. So he's doing a 1, speed 8, go forward 1, turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he still has 2 space movement. I'm just going to mark it. Actually, I'm going to mark it with the orange dice so I don't confuse it. What happens now is this whole table disappears. Now, He's in a spin at altitude 1. Even if he recovered, he's going to crash, so he's dead. It doesn't specifically say that in the rules, but that's the only fair thing to do. We're going to remove all these guys. So I'm putting him in the casualty pile. These two we're going to have to roll for. So this would come off. We slide everybody down. And can I do it? I'm still going to get the same thing. Okay. Sorry, it's just a little bit awkward. Oh, I have to rotate this. I've got half hexes. There we go. So he goes his remaining. Actually, we'll wait till we get the buildings up. I'm just going to grab 2 dice. And we'll roll to see how much terrain goes into this new section. 6 pieces. I just happen to have 6. So I believe the key is you can't be within 2 hexes of the edge. So 1, 2. Here we go. I'll take up 3 hex rows. And just to make life miserable for everyone, I'm going to put another building here. And we'll put another building over here. And we should probably put a building here. Oh, that's within 2. I have to move him 1 more. That again is going to take up another 7. And we'll just have a single building over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our terrain is set up. I finished moving him his 2 spaces. That's his final location. Now I just got to roll to see what happens to these 2 aircraft. If they pass their handling test, they just go back into reserves. And handling test for the Barracuda is a 2+, and for the Remora it's a 3+. So rolling for the Barracuda, he goes back into reserves. Rolling for the Remora, he goes back into reserves. So it's kind of a shame they both just made it on, and now they're both back in reserves. And that's going to be the end of the movement phase. Actually, I just realized I forgot to move this one aircraft here. So he's doing a 5, basically stall turn. What speed is he going? He's going speed 8. I think I'll just leave him at speed 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I'm going to make him drop down to speed 6. 1. Oh, he was in the same. No, that is a single square. He just jiggled. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's going to turn around. I could do 180. I think I'm just going to. Yeah, we'll do 180. And he's trailing smoke. And now that should be it for the movement phase. Seem to have an extra counter here. Oh, for this guy, he had a 2. Really did a good job this time. Alright, so he's doing a swoop. He's traveling speed 7. I think I'll keep that. So he's going to turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to face him that way. Okay, he's countered, he's countered, he's countered, he's countered, he's countered, and those two are done. Now we're done the end of turn 4 movement. So, real life once again got in the way of completing turn 4, but because of that I was able to go through some of the videos as I was preparing this battle report. Unfortunately, there were 2 blunders I made that really impacted the game later on. The first blunder I noticed, the Remora drone in the center panel, I forgot to make that last heading turn. He wouldn't be able to go head to head with the Avenger in the next hex. That needs to be corrected. The second blunder, and this one is more embarrassing, the Avenger crossing the board at the top of the screen would not be able to select maneuver 6. Avengers only have access to maneuvers 1 to 6, but when you're trailing smoke, aircraft lose 1 maneuver. So in that case, because he's trailing smoke, he would only be able to go and do maneuvers 1 through 5. So, because he can't go do maneuver 6, rules state that he goes straight ahead at the planned speed. That would take the Avenger through the building, as I've shown here with the arrows. So we need to take and do a check to see if the Avenger can pass the handling test and avoid a collision with the building or not. If it does, the Avenger really has only one direction it can turn, as turning towards the outside wall would actually let him hit the wall and destroy himself. So again, if the Avenger passes a handling check, it will turn right and end up in the hex directly in front of the Remora drone. If the Avenger fails his handling check, he just crashes and dies. So I had to interrupt the game due to real life interfering, and I realized that I made an error. I forgot to make a turn on this after I completed my bank. So he's not actually facing that Avenger, he's actually facing off into Never Ever Land. So I'm going to replay the shooting that I did complete on turn number 4, and we'll continue on with the game from there. So here we are, we've got our poor Avenger, who I gave the wrong order to. I've already removed the board, so I'm not going to try to rebuild everything from scratch. He's come up against an occupied hex with terrain. He has to pass a handling check or he's going to crash. So handling for an Avenger is a 2+. So he's got a really good chance of making this. Let's see what we get. And he passes. So he manages to maneuver and avoid a collision with the building. Now he still has 4 more hexes to move. If he tries going this way, 1, 2, 3, number 4, he's going to hit the edge of the wall. He's going to crash and burn. He's right back where he started from again. So he only has one direction he can go, and that's this way. 1, 2, 3, oops, and 4. So they've got the poor little drone stuck in the middle here. He's trapped, he's got nowhere to go, and he's got 2 Avengers narrowing in on him. So for the first tile activation, I could deal with that drone, but I got a bad feeling he's gone no matter what I do. I'm going to fire off this Barracuda first. Now, the Barracuda, he does have arc. You can see we split that other Avenger, or sorry, that's a lightning strike over there. The problem is we have this terrain piece here. If you go strictly by the front arc, that terrain piece is blocking front arc. However, the rules say anywhere from the hex. So I can go from the corner here and still reach that lightning without actually crossing that terrain piece. So I'm working on the assumption that this is a legal shot. So, shooting with the Barracuda railgun, long range, he's at 10 hexes away. Don't get much more long range than that. He's going to get one shot with a railgun. He will miss. He will get one shot with the missile pod. He will hit with a missile pod. Damages on a 4+. He does damage. Let's see what kind of damage he does. And he does a 5. And 5 is engine is hit. Smoke begins. Place a smoke token. And then add a damage counter. So that lightning already has smoke. We'll just increase it from 1 to 2. And we'll add a damage counter. Finally, he does have 2 shots with burst cannon, so we'll take those. Again, needing 5+ to hit, 5+ to damage. No hits. And that'll be it for the Barracuda. First Imperial activation. I think we're going to start. I'm going to start with our smoking guy here. Seeing as he's going head to head. He's at range 1 to the Remora. At this range, he gets 2 shots with the Avenger bolt cannon, needing 5s to hit. Or sorry, 6 because he's smoking. Smoking is bad for you. He got both hits. Damages on a 4+, extra damage on a 6. No damage. He also has autocannons. He'll get a single shot with that. Again, needing 6s to hit. And he failed to hit. He doesn't have anybody in his rear arc. Pretty close, but not quite. So that'll end shooting for the Avenger. And I'm going to go straight on now to the Remora. He's best at short range. He's going to get 4 shots with his gun. And he needs 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And he manages 1 hit. Can he damage? No, he cannot. And he's too close to use, well, he could use a missile. And I'm going to get shot. I may as well try to use a missile. So this will be 5s to hit and 4s to damage. He hits. Let me double check. Is it 4s? Nope, Seeker hits on, or damages on a 3. And the Seeker will damage. Let's roll on the damage table. And he rolled a 5. And that's going to be another structure damage point and another smoke. So that's 2 for him now. And that's going to be it for the Remora for this turn. Next Imperial shooting, we're going to have the second Avenger. That's Avenger number 2 with the las cannons. He's going to open fire on the Remora. And at short range, he gets 2 shots with his Avenger bolt cannon, and that's it. These cannons are too short range to be able to shoot, or too long range to be able to shoot. So no hits for the Avenger. Laser cannons can't shoot at range 1. That's going to take care of all their shooting. The only other Tau aircraft that's on the board that hasn't shot yet is this guy. Unfortunately, there's nothing in his forward arc, and both these aircraft are too short range to be able to shoot at with his burst cannon. The burst cannon on the weapon drone has medium and long range fire only. So that's it for Tau shooting for turn 4. Final shooting for the Imperials this turn is going to be this lightning strike versus this Barracuda way over here. Now you remember he got damaged by the Barracuda. He is at long range. His his multi-lasers have 2 shots at long range, needing 5s and 5s to damage normally, but he's trailing smoke. Now it's 2 smoke, but it doesn't matter, you only suffer +1 no matter how many smoke markers you have. So instead of hitting on 5s, he's hitting on 6s, needing 5s to damage. No hits. He does have missiles. So we're going to try to shoot 1 pair. Again, still needing 6s to hit. He got a hit. Damaging, I believe, on a 3+. Yep. Damaging on a 3+. Extra damage on a 6. Rolled a 2, so he doesn't do any damage. And that'll be it for shooting for turn 4. So here we are, the end of turn 4. We're into the end phase. First of all, there's no tailing fire. Everyone's more or less going head on. Closest thing to tailing fire is this Barracuda to the far lightning strike. But actually it's regular lightning, but there's buildings in the way and he's way out of range. So no stalls, go straight to handling the smoke and fire. So let's start with this guy here. Venger has a handling of 2. He just needs to roll 2 or better. And he passed them both. So both smokes go out. He can now shoot at, or he can shoot with no penalty anymore. Meanwhile, this lightning strike over here, he has the same issue. He has 2 smoke. Let's see what happens to him. His handling is 3. And he passes both, so both smoke go out. He's no longer being penalized when he shoots. So that's going to take care of the end of turn 4. Before we go into the orders phase of turn 5, we need to roll to see if these guys are coming on. So, starting with the Remora, everyone's coming on a 2+. He's coming on. Next is the Barracuda. He's coming on, barely. And finally, this last lightning, he rolled a 3. All the aircraft are coming on board. So I will take and deploy the aircraft, prepare the orders, and then we'll come right back. So here we go. We're going to start doing our maneuvers. All the orders are given. We've added these 3 aircraft. They have their orders. They're traveling max speed, altitude 2. Let's roll, see who has initiative. And Imperials have the initiative. And I think they're going to make the Tau move first. So when you know you're moving the Tau first, what you going to do, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Decisions. Well, I think we'll start by moving this drone. He's going speed 6, doing level flight. I think I'm going to cut his speed to 4. So 6, 5, 4. And he's going to go 1, 2, turn 3, 4. And hopefully he'll get somebody in this arc here. Remember, these hexes are all blocked by this one terrain piece. First Imperial move. Now I'm going to bring this guy back. He's too far ahead. He can't really rush off the end of the table without taking out all his guys down there as well. So he's going speed 8. I'm going to leave him at speed 8. He'll go forward 1, turn around, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's a regular lightning with the lattice cannons there. Next Imperial activation. We're going to do this guy here. He's doing a stoop. He's traveling speed 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm going to drop him down to speed 6. So turns once. 1. Again. 2, 3, 4. 5. I'll turn one more. 6. So I just ran along the edge of the canyon wall, for lack of a better term. More importantly, I'm now keeping focus over here. I've got at least this guy in my arc, and depending on who pokes their head out over here, his burst cannons can go that way. Next Imperial activation. Oh, it's a hard choice. I'm going to do this one. He got himself into trouble. He's actually just going to do a stall turn. Now he's presently traveling speed 6, which is his maximum speed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're going to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Does a 1. Actually, I can go this way. That's actually better. 5, 6. That way he's clear of the building. He has room to maneuver next turn. Otherwise he'd be just coming back into this mess again. Next next Tau activation. I think we're gonna go what did I do with his counter? I don't see his counter. So according to the rules, I didn't give him a counter. He's going to go straight and level at his speed, which is 4 right now. He'll go 1. He's now going to collide with that building unless I pass my handling test. Handling test for Barracuda is a 3+. And he passed. So again, he went from here. 1. He'll turn 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. Don't want him going too fast. Double checking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's where he's going to end up. And I'm just going to put this counter beside him because it's handy. Gotta remember, double check all your orders. I'm one to talk. Next Imperial activation. I think I'm going to go with the lightning here. He chose to do level flight. He's traveling speed 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That may be best. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn 6, 7, 8. That'll let him maneuver between the buildings a bit. Get as far forward as he can. He's probably not going to have a target this turn. But that leaves us with, let's go with this Tau activation. He's doing level flight. He's traveling speed 7, which is his max speed. But 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I I don't really want to do that, but I don't have a choice. So he's dropping speed from 7, 6, 5, 4. So he's turning 1, 2, and do I want to turn there? 3. No, I'm going to go back here. 2, turn 3, 4. So he's right beside the building here. More importantly, he's out of this guy's front arc. That leaves us for another Imperial activation. And I have a choice between this Avenger and that Lightning Strike. I don't think the Lightning Strike's going to make too much of a difference, so we'll do him next. He's doing a stoop. So, which way do I want to go? He's traveling speed 6. I can take him up to 8. I think I'm going to drop him down to 4. So 6, 5, 4. He's going to turn once, 1, 2, turn 3, turn again, 4. By doing that, he's going to cut the arc with that particular Barracuda. Mind you, that gives the Barracuda the same angle on him. So last Tau activation is going to be this guy, the Remora drone. He chose to do stoop as well. And he's going speed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to boost him up to speed 5. So by doing that, he turns 1, 2. He's in the last full hex. Turns around 3, 4, 5, and he turns around his 1 required hex spacing, and he's now in a perfect tailing position of this Avenger. Whether that helps or not, anybody's guess. Finally, the last Avenger, he's doing, or sorry, this guy was doing a bank. He's doing a stoop. Blah, words, they're hard. He's going speed 6, which is his maximum speed. And his speed adjustment is only 1, I think. Yeah. I think I have to slow him down. So I'm going to drop him to 5. We'll turn once. 1, 2, 3. 4. And I'm going to turn him this way. 5. So I'll make sure I did that right. Did a turn, over, turn once, yeah. And now I have to do one last turn. I could turn this way, but I'm thinking that way lies madness. I'd rather go this way, up, out. Get away from this last table edge or board edge, just in case the map flips again at some point. So, moved. And I think we're done. That should be it for movement for turn 5. So, Tau moved first, Tau get to shoot first. And the one aircraft that's probably at the most risk is this Barracuda here. He's in direct line of sight with this Lightning. Both are equipped for long range shooting, so he's going to shoot first. Barracuda gets a single shot with a railgun at range 9. They both need 5s to hit. Then it's 2s to damage, extra damage on a 6. He hits. Will he damage? He will damage. So Lightning has no extra armor. He will suffer a 1. And a 1 in this case. He's hit by such force he momentarily loses control and he'll turn in a random direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see which direction he ends up facing. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to do a 180. So that's the first hit. Next, he gets a missile pod. Again, 1 shot, needing 5s to hit. He hits. 4+ to damage. He does not damage. And finally, he gets 2 shots with his burst cannon. 1 hit. He needs a 5 to damage. He will damage. And what kind of damage will we inflict? 2. And 2 is going to be engine hit, begins belching smoke. So we're just going to add a smoke dice to him. And that will take care of the Barracuda's shooting. So for the Imperial's first shot, well, I was going to do this lightning back on the Barracuda that just shot at him. But seeing as he's been knocked around, he hasn't got angle on anything anymore. And it turns out, oh wait, maybe one other aircraft has a shot, but this lightning strike has a shot on this Barracuda over here. So let's start off with the multi-lasers. He gets 6 shots, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Oh dear, he did really good. 1 miss, needing 5s to damage. And he managed to get 2 damage onto the Barracuda. And if he rolls correctly, that could take out the Barracuda in 1 volley. So let's see what he rolls. He rolled a 2 and a 4. So the 2 is engine hit and begins to smoke. So we'll put a smoke token on him. That means it's a +1 for him to hit now. And the 4 is he loses a structure point and goes into a spin. Ouch. We know how dangerous spins can be. Oh, wrong. Counter. So there's our hit. And there's a spin counter. So he can't fire anymore this turn. I may as well take this off. And that's pretty good shooting for that lightning strike. Next shooting phase, we're going to go with the Remora drone here, who's tailing this Avenger. And short range, his burst cannon, he gets 4 shots. They're at the same altitude. 5s to hit, 5s to damage. And we managed to get a single hit. Will he damage? Yes, he will. What kind of damage will he roll on the Avenger? He rolled a 5, which is going to be a structure point and smoke. So, here we go. We're seeing a lot of damage happening around here. Not many people really getting shot down. Actually, I'm going to put these on the front so I don't mix them up with him. I do have a missile left, but I think I'm going to hold on to that for now. So that'll end the Remora's shooting. So I had to double check the rules on this one because I wasn't 100% sure, but now I am. Although he's smoking, he cannot fire in the tailing phase. However, this isn't the tailing phase, this is the fire phase. So while the poor Avenger has nothing in his forward arc, he does have Remora in his tailing arc. and he does have a heavy stubber pointed that way. So the good news is he gets a shot back. The bad news is he's -1 to hit. So instead of hitting on 5s, he's hitting on 6s. And the heavy stubber only gives him a single shot. Let's see what he does with it. And he will miss with the heavy stubber. He has nothing in his forward arc that he can use, so that's it for shooting for the Avenger. So next firing for the Tau is going to be this Barracuda. Now this is the burst cannon variant, and unfortunately he doesn't have anyone in his front arc, but these two are at short range, too short for his weapon drones. But this guy way over here, he's at range 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's just in medium range. I can shoot at him. So weapon drones are firing, needing 5s to hit and 5s to damage. Let's see what we roll. Single hit, needing 5+ to damage. He will damage. What kind of damage will he do? He rolled a 6. So I already know that's going to put fire and another structure point. However, the aircraft only has 2 structure points. We're going to lose this lightning strike. So next is Imperial activations, and unfortunately the only shooting I can see for the Imperials is again Avenger rear gun onto the burst cannon Barracuda, which just finished shooting down an aircraft. So again, single shot, needing 5s to hit. He has no smoke, so 5s to hit and 5s to damage. And he will fail to hit, so that'll take care of the last of the Imperial shooting that's available. So the last shooting activation this turn is going to be this Remoro drone. And he's at medium range to both of these aircraft. I'm going to shoot at the Avenger. Simply put, the Avenger puts out more shots at short and medium range than the Lightning does. So I don't want it around, if I can help it. So let's roll to see if we can hit the Avenger. He gets 2 shots with his burst cannon at medium range, and he managed to roll a 6, so that's 1 hit. Can he damage for the 5? And he does damage. What kind of damage are we going to do? And he rolled smoke and structure point, and once again I know Avengers only have 2 structure points, so that's the death of the Avenger. So here we are into the end phase of turn 5. Let's go through the end phase checks because there's lots happening. Forgot to take him off. First of all, is anybody ready to voluntarily disengage? The answer is no. Imperials are sitting at 50% with 3 of their troops, or 3 of their aircraft online. Tau are actually doing pretty good. They've only lost 1 aircraft. Everybody else is online. So we're not looking at voluntary disengagement. Spins. Well, we got that 1 Tau Barracuda in a spin. He needs to pass a handling check, and his handling is a 2+. Can he make it? The answer is yes. So, coming out of a spin, first we rotate in a random direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not a good direction for him to be facing. He goes to maximum speed. He already, oh no, he's not. He's at 6. He needs to go to 7 because he has afterburners. And he drops from altitude 2 to altitude 1. So I think this is the first time we've had a manned aircraft actually recover. It's been so long since that's happened. And that was the only spin. And we can take off that marker. Next to check, smoke and flame. Well, we have no flame, so it's just the smoke. Let's start with the Tau again. Again, handling 2+. He passes, his smoke goes out. For the Avenger, his is also 2+. His smoke goes out, so he's no longer having a penalty when he shoots. And finally, that lightning strike. 3, he just made it. His handling was 3+, so his smoke goes out, and that takes care of all the smoke. And at this point, everyone has full view and no penalties for shooting. Oh, forgot the tailing phase. This guy obviously has tailing on him, and believe it or not, this guy is just in medium range to that lightning, so he gets the tailing marker as well. And that's it for the end phase. There's no reinforcements to roll for, so I'm just going to place orders, and we'll be back once I've got that all set up. So here we are, turn 6. Let's roll and see who gets the initiative. Tau rolled a 3, so Tau will get the initiative. And you know what? I think Tau will go first. We have more activations, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as opposed to the 3 that the Imperials can do. So I can try to move something that's not going to make any difference and hopefully get the shots where I need them. Meanwhile, let's start off with tailing fire. First, we've got this guy here shooting at the back of this last remaining Avenger. They're both altitude 2, so 5s to hit, 5s to damage. 2 hits by the burst cannon. And 1 damage point. What will we do to the Avenger? Oh, 6 is the fire and another damage. However, he only has 2 structure points, so the last Avenger is going to be destroyed. Take him off. Now, oh, before I forget, he does have a tail gun. He wasn't on fire before, so he does get his single shot back at the Remora. Needs a 5 to hit, and he will fail to hit. So, tailing fire did not apply, or did not work for him. He's destroyed. Next, tailing fire. It's medium range shot to this guy over here. He only gets 2 shots with his burst cannon, needing 5s to hit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And he will miss, but he also has missiles. So I'm going to fire the 2 Seeker missiles, needing 5s to hit, and they will miss. So that's going to be it for his tailing fire. And that's it for tailing fire. I just have to do some paperwork and we'll start it up again. So onward to the movement phase. And honestly, my plans changed with that last death by the Avenger. Technically, we're still above 25%. But I don't want to lose any more of my Imperial aircraft, so we're probably going to try to disengage. So the first one I'm moving. Oh wait, Taros supposed to move first. Bad me. So the first one I'm going to move. He's going to do a stoop. He's traveling speed 4. I'm going to bump him up to speed 6. So he's going to turn 1, 2, turn 3, 4, 5, 6, And he's going to turn one hex face that way. Now we're going to move our first Imperial aircraft. He's going to take and do he's doing a bank. I'm presently traveling speed 8. I'm going to stay at speed 8. So I'm going to cheat. I'm going to move him this way. 1, 2. Move him this way. 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll move him back this way. 7, 8. And I'm going to climb from altitude 2 to altitude 3 or 4, which will be a deliberate disengagement or accidental disengagement, depending on how you want to talk about it. And thus he's gone. So, as I said, it's fairly obvious what the Imperials want to do at this point. They want to disengage. It really doesn't matter what we do. Barracuda here was doing a 3. He's traveling speed 4. So turn 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll turn him. Actually, I'll turn him twice the other way. And that way he doesn't have to worry about running into a building. And that leaves us with our last Imperial aircraft. Again, he's traveling speed 8. He was going to do a stall turn, but he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn around and climb to altitude 3 and do another disengagement. So that's going to end the game. We could have continued on until we lost another Imperial aircraft, but that doesn't make any sense for the Imperials. So game over. We have 2 accidental disengagements with the 2 lightnings, and we have 4 aircraft shot down by the Tau, and the Imperials managed to shoot down 1 Tau aircraft and damage 1 other one. Other than that, this has been a very good mission for the Tau. Going to start the mission review discussing the rolling area of engagement rules, as this is the first time I've played them. First of all, I like the general idea of having the rolling terrain. I've seen other aerial combat systems use something very similar, and it makes it more fun and interesting if you're not stuck in a particular location or area. However, if GW is going to recommend missions and rule sets, they should be easy to do using official GW terrain and boards. The 3 sets of 12 by 12 map hexes that GW mentioned in the rules are not possible with the present GW maps. GW board sets come with 2 map sections that fold up, each section being 19 hexes by 9 hexes. You simply cannot make a 12 by 12 map unless you hack them apart and kludge together your own 12 by 12 maps. Now these boards are expensive enough, I'm not willing to do that. So 4 sets of 9 by 12 maps, that's length by width, gives you the same footprint as 3 12 by 12 maps for a total of 12 hex wide and 36 hex long. That you can do with 2 map sets using 4 sets of folding boards. Now, I and the others have been hoping that GW will release some sort of neoprene map or something similar to what can be found for other games. And maybe eventually we'll see something, if not from GW, hopefully by a third party. The issue of playing on that large of a map is simply the space it takes up. If you use the GW maps or any other maps using the same size hexes, you're looking at almost 74 inches in length. You need to play on a longer table, preferably over 6 feet. You could play on a 6-foot table with a couple of inches overhanging, but if you're klutz like me or have anybody else around, someone's going to bump the edges and knock things about. Anyway, I chose to use 3 sets of 9 by 12 maps due to space and camera limitations. It seems to work well, and while a fast aircraft like a Lightning could set off a wraparound a little earlier than a 4-section map, there is still the threat to your own aircraft if you don't time it right. This does bring me to one possible nasty tactic. If you can somehow block your opponents from moving off the table, off the trailing edge, then you can force handling tests which could end up with accidental disengagements, all at the same time while keeping your own aircraft safe on the middle section or sacrificing a couple just to keep them tied up. It would be difficult to begin with, and on a full-length table even harder to pull off. The only other thing I think I should comment on is if you're playing low level like I did, you need to be sure you have lots of terrain and it fits well on the hex map. There were a couple of buildings I used that ended up making me second guess how I had defined their outline. I may end up putting silicon on the bottom of these buildings so that they're less likely to slide. Another option is to cut out hex shapes to place them on so there is no confusion as to which hexes are occupied. Regarding the chase mission itself, again, I like the idea of starting off with only one aircraft per side. It introduced a rather unique dynamic. What aircraft do you want to start with? Do you want to start with your fastest, your most heavily armed? The aircraft with the most structure points, so it cannot be shot down before turn 1 ends and reinforcements can be rolled for. I do have a concern that the mission is supposedly designed for forces up to 250 points. As you saw in this game, that one panel got very crowded very quickly. What if each side had more than 6 aircraft waiting and all of them tried to come onto the board edge at once? This is especially pronounced when you play low-level missions and you have lots of terrain occupying space and making it more crowded. I do like the random roll as another element of suspense, but maybe limit each side to the first 2 or 3 reinforcements per turn. That way you could potentially make it a multiplayer game as a store event. Up to 4 people could be able to play at once in that case. Figuring out initiative and order of activation could become an issue, but it could be fun to set it up that way as well. So let's talk victory points. For Imperials, this was another bad mission. The only pilot to get a kill was Lieutenant Melita, and he was in Avenger 2 with the las cannon. Unfortunately, he was shot down and didn't survive the mission. Lieutenant Oak in Lightning Strike 3 was shot down by drone weapons from Tau pilot Echo. Lieutenant Plum in Lightning Strike 4 was damaged and entered a spin and crashed by shots from Tau pilot Golf. Lieutenant Rivers and Lieutenant Melita in the Avengers were both shot down by the 2 drones. Only the Lightnings managed to survive by climbing out of the area of engagement above level 2. As this was not a disengagement turn because there was over 25% of the force remaining, these both count as accidental disengagements and are worth full points. So the Imperials give up the full 150 points of their squadron. On the Tau side, only Fo Axtrol in the Rail Barracuda was shot down, and he was shot down by Lieutenant Melita, who gets the credit posthumously. Pilot Golf in the Rail Barracuda 2 suffered some damage, entered a spin, but managed to pull out without crashing. However, by being damaged, he does give up half points for 15 points. So, all told, for the cost of one Barracuda and a half cost of another, the Tau give up only 44 points. That means, for the mission results, the Tau get the full points of the Imperial force, as the entire Imperial force was either destroyed or fled the area of engagement as involuntary disengagement. There are no extra mission points on this mission, and no list points for the Tau, as the Tau squadron was cheaper than the Imperial force. Imperial only get 44 points for the damage they caused. Again, no mission points, but the Imperials do get 2 points because they had a full 150 points to the Tau's 148. That gives the Imperials a total of 146 points. So this is a Tau overwhelming victory. There's just no other way to put it. So campaign-wise, the Tau gain another 3 points, bringing them to a total of 11, versus the Imperial Navy only getting 1 campaign point, bringing them up to a total of 9. So for the first time, Tau take the lead in the campaign. So for the Imperial Squadron updates, Lieutenant Arberg and Brandon both survived another mission, takes them up to a total of 3 successful missions each. They need another 3 missions before they can earn another free reroll, and in spite of not getting any credits for this mission, both pilots need 3 more kills to get an ace skill. Meanwhile, we'll replace the 4 dead pilots and their aircraft like for like, so no extra points and no delays before they can fly next mission. Lieutenants Roblin and Rossburn will fly the replacement Lightning Strikes with the missiles, while Lieutenants Russells and Snow will fly the replacement Avengers. On the Tau Squadron, the Tau pilots did really well this game, only losing a single pilot. Pilots Gaalf, Indila, and Akha all survived a mission, with Akha gaining enough experience now to be classed an ace and gaining a free reroll. Gaalf, Akha, and the 2 drones also managed to rack up a kill each, though they have a long way to go before they end up with an ace skill. Finally, a new pilot, Joel, will fly a new Rail Barracuda in the same configuration as the one that was lost, so again, no extra cost or delays in deployment. So that's it for this mission. The next mission is the Subterranean Assault. That mission uses a special rule which is called the Cave System. Cave System uses most but not all of the low-level rules. There is an attacker and a defender rule with different squadron requirements, so we'll need to roll off to see who is which. And finally, night fight rules are mandatory. You don't have a choice. Don't you hate that? Meanwhile, I'll use the enhanced damage and limited ammo rules too, and I hope you're all having fun out there. Be safe and good gaming.